Yeah, what did we discuss in the last lecture? Can anyone summarize? And can you see the slides?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What did we discuss in the last lecture? Can anyone summarize? Some registers.
Yes, sir. Some special purpose registers
Okay. Yeah. How many registers are there? Kitni categories होती हैं?
and the
Mainly.
bus.
Sorry. Sorry, your voice is breaking. Anyone?
So some special purpose registers and the bus structure of processor and memory.
Okay. So we discussed some special purpose registers. What are the two other categories also of the registers? Can anybody recollect?
General purpose and
General purpose and temporary.
Yeah, very good. So, what were the special registers we discussed? What were the four?
So memory address and memory data.
MER,
Okay. So we did,
MER,
Program counter
MDR.
and IR, sir.
yeah. So four we discussed now. MAR, MDR, instruction register, and program counter. So is it clear with everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So memory address register. Hopefully you all remember. Where are these registers located at? Is it inside the processor or outside the processor?
Inside the
Inside.
Inside.
processor.
Yeah, it is inside the processor. Okay. So this is the general structure. As you can also see, there are some general purpose registers which is inside the MDR. Is the data stored in MDR or is the address stored in MDR?
So
Data is
Data.
Very good. Yeah, yeah. So you can see there are some general purpose registers which are there for the MDR purpose for storing data. Then we have MAR, program counter instruction register, which is also there inside the processor. There is some cache memories also, some levels of cache memories also stored inside there. We'll discuss how the right now we're just discussing about the processors, sorry, registers. So this is one of the examples. Let's see how the things will work out. The first example is add R1 LOC comma LOC A. Okay, can anybody tell me which one of these two of the written line is an opcode and operand?
add is the opcode, R1
Add
is
the opcode.
And R1 and LOCA are
Operand.
operands.
operands. Yeah. So this is clear with everyone. Hopefully this is clear with everyone. Nobody has a doubt in this. Okay. So what is the major difference? Can anybody tell me there are two examples here. That first one is add R1 comma LOCA and the second one is add R1 comma R2. What is the major difference between these two instructions?
In the first one, we are also accessing memory from the address, like we are using the memory location
So we are
address
going
variable.
outside the processor.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we are accessing the primary memory or maybe secondary memory, something. Is it right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So yeah, we'll see how the first example will work out. Add R1, the contents of R1 and the data which is stored at the location A using the opcode that is add in the processor. Let's see how it will work out. So this is the execution cycle of things of this instruction set of this instruction, that is add R1 and the content in R1 and LOCA. So what will happen? We have to make some assumptions because we don't know the exact memory locations. We have four registers for our help here, that is MAR, MDR, PC, and IR. All have specific functionalities. Okay, PC. Anybody remember the functionality of program counter? Anyone?
yes, sir.
Yeah. Can you please tell?
It stores the address of the next instruction we.
Yeah, yeah, very good, very good. So all the instructions, it keeps a track of things like after the execution of first instruction it needs to increment to the next instruction and so on. So can anybody tell me the functionality of instruction register, IR?
It holds the instruction that has been fetched
Yeah,
from the
very good. And where all the operations, all these opcode of instructions will occur, is there any place where it occurs? like
ALU.
inside the
ALU.
yeah. Okay, so this thing is clear in everybody's mind. Hopefully it is. So let's see how the flow goes on. Assume that the instruction is stored in the memory location, that is 1000. The initial value of R1 is 50 and LOCA is 5000. So these are some assumptions we are taking before starting of our, looking at the execution. Before the execution is executed, instruction is executed, the first instruction the memory location is stored in the PC program counter. Why? Because instruction has to be loaded from there, or it will start from PC. So now PC is containing the memory address 1000. Now the content of PC is transferred into firstly MAR. Hopefully everybody remembers that firstly we need to put the address into MAR, and from MAR we'll fetch the data into MDR. Is it clear with everyone?
Yes.
Is it okay? Okay, fine. So yeah.
So this LOCA is the address. So, like it's the address.
Yeah.
So we'll go to the address, and then from there we'll store the data in the MDR.
Abhi, we have not reached there. We're just starting. Na? We'll see what happens. Okay? It will be clear. So, okay. Right now what happens is the PC contains 1000 memory location. And from what we do in the next step is content of the PC is transferred to MAR. That is the address register. Then a read signal. What are the two signals which were generated by the processor?
Read and write.
Read and write. Okay, so I'll ask how many read or write signals are generated at the end of the cycle. It's very easy. You'll get an idea. So the content of the PC is transferred to MAR. Then a read request is issued to the memory unit. Then the instruction is fetched to MDR. The whole instruction, that is add R1 LOCA, is fetched into MDR. Then from MDR, that instruction is goes into instruction register. Then instruction register actually decodes it. Then and in the meantime, the PC is incremented to the to the next instruction set. The increment will actually depend on the architecture size. So if it's a 32-bit system, the increment will be +4. If it's a 64-bit system, it will be +8. These steps we'll discuss if we have time. We'll discuss because this should have been taught in the last syllabus, in the last course. But we'll see if we have time. We'll discuss how these increments are happening. So program counter is incremented by 4. Then the program counter is incremented to the point of the next instruction. The instruction is decoded by the control unit. Now the instruction is inside the instruction register. Instruction register actually decodes what has to be done, and it finds that R1 is holding some data, but it doesn't have the data of LOC. It has the memory location, so it has to again transfer. It has the LOCA is transferred to from IR to MAR. Why does it happen? Because both the datas are not inside the processor. Only R1 data is inside the processor. So the data which is placed at the location 5000 should also be present inside the instruction register, so that it can send it to ALU for the addition. Okay, is it clear till now? Is it clear till now?
So at first, the whole instruction is sent with the help of address, the memory address register, and then with the help of MDR, the whole instruction is taken and like the data thing is taken.
No, MDR से IR में जाएगा.
जैसे like MDR में सर पूरा इंस्ट्रक्शन है, मतलब कोई स्पेसिफिक
पूरा इंस्ट्रक्शन है. इंस्ट्रक्शन वो IR में जाएगा, इंस्ट्रक्शन रजिस्टर में. इंस्ट्रक्शन रजिस्टर उसको डिकोड करेगा. डिकोड करने के बाद उसको दिखाई देगा कि उसके पास R1 की वैल्यू तो है. इट हैज द वैल्यू ऑफ R1 बाय, क्योंकि ये प्रोसेसर के अंदर का रजिस्टर है, लेकिन इट डजंट हैव द वैल्यू डेटा ऑफ LOCA. इज इट क्लियर?
सर पर सर डेटा रजिस्टर में तो सर डेटा जाना चाहिए ना, तो इंस्ट्रक्शन क्यों जा रहा है सर?
डेटा रजिस्टर में
सर लाइक मेमोरी डेटा रजिस्टर में तो डेटा जाना चाहिए, पर
नहीं, ये डेटा, इसको डेटा ही कह रहे हैं अपन. ये पूरा डेटा ही है, इस तरह से काम कर रहा है. वो टेम्पररी, उसके अंदर कई जनरल पर्पस रजिस्टर्स हैं जिसमें अलग इंस्ट्रक्शंस आएंगे. सो इस मेमोरी में ये डेटा स्टोर, ये पूरा होल इंस्ट्रक्शन स्टोर है.
सो लाइक मतलब डेटा इज नॉट नेसेसरली मतलब वैल्यू, मतलब कुछ और भी
इस सेंस में ठीक है.
यस सर.
सो यहाँ तक क्लियर है? LOCA के बाद ये इसको वापस क्यों MAR में भेजेगा? इज इट क्लियर विथ एवरीवन?
यस सर.
Okay, so LOCA, that is 5000, is transferred from instruction register to MAR. Okay, then again फिर से एक read signal generate होगा. Then again a read request is issued to memory unit, and then the data which is stored at the location 5000 is transferred, is fetched to MDR. Now both the data is inside the processor. So the content of MDR is added to R1 inside the ALU. ये इंस्ट्रक्शन रजिस्टर दोनों डेटा को ले जाएगा और ALU में ऐड करेगा. सो इज दिस इसको समराइज वे में अपन ऐसे भी कह सकते हैं, प्रोग्राम काउंटर से फर्स्टली MER में गया. प्रोग्राम काउंटर में द फर्स्ट इंस्ट्रक्शन इज देयर, the location of the first instruction is there. It transfers the address to the MER. From that MER, a read signal is generated, and that data is fetched from that location, and it is fed into the MDR. That is the whole instruction set. Instruction. That instruction is fed into instruction register. Instruction register sees that it doesn't have the data at a location value which is shared here inside the processor. In the meantime, the program counter is also incremented by one step. This step is actually dependent on कि कौन से bit का architecture we are following. Like it's a 32-bit architecture, then it's a 4-bit word. Sorry, it depends on the word size. So we'll see कि 4, 8 कैसे transfer होता है. But it's just one steps of the program counter. So that was the other step. In the IR, it sees that it doesn't have the second data. So it again issues that value to the MER. It tells the value to the sends the address of the location to MER. Then again a read signal is generated. The data is read from that location, fed into MER. Now both the data are inside the processor, and those both values are fed, are transferred into ALU. They are added and transferred into the values are written into R1. So is it clear with everyone? ये flow clear हुआ किसी सबको? कोई doubt है पूछो.
तो एक बार दोबारा समझा दीजिए, नहीं समझ आ रहा.
Okay, no problem. देखो आई थिंक इसमें एग्जांपल यहाँ पे भी होगा. ठीक है, प्रोग्राम काउंटर some other example. Okay. What happens? It starts with program counter. Let's assume the instruction is stored at the memory location, that is 1000. The initial value of R1 is 50 and location A as 5000. What is our instruction? What is the instruction here? Add the values stored in R1 and at the location LOC A. ठीक है, LOC A मेमोरी लोकेशन की वैल्यू क्या है 5000. ये प्रोसेसर के अंदर नहीं है. R1 जो है वो प्रोसेसर के अंदर है. अपने को क्या चाहिए? दोनों डेटा प्रोसेसर के अंदर चाहिए, तभी अपन ऐड कर पाएंगे. इज इट क्लियर विथ एवरीवन? इज दिस पार्ट क्लियर विथ एवरीवन? ओके, ठीक है, यहाँ से चीजें क्लियर हो जाएंगी. क्योंकि अगर यहाँ ऐड R1 R2 लिखा होता ना, वी वुड हैव नॉट डन द नेक्स्ट स्टेप. ठीक है, वो अभी हम नेक्स्ट एग्जांपल में देखेंगे. सो फॉर दिस एग्जांपल, the first instruction that is there in the program counter is transferred into MER. क्यों MER में? Why and MER? Because address has to be firstly sent to MER, then the read signal will be generated that okay, read the data which is from the MER address. So and store the data into MDR. This functionality we already know about this special purpose registers, MER, MDR. So the content of PC is transferred into MER. You can look into the right side also, which is written in blue size कि अपन कर क्या रहे. That is summarized in the next slide also. The read request is issued to the memory unit that read the data which from the MER address, the address which is located in the MER, listed in the MER. The instruction is fetched to MDR. From MDR it is transferred to IR. IR decodes it. IR looks to the value that it has the data of R1, but it doesn't have the data of LOC A. So it needs to, in the meantime, PC was incremented one step. The instruction is decoded by the controller. We already seen that. The LOC A is transferred from instruction register to MER. Why? Because it doesn't have that data. And one more signal is generated. Read signal is generated to the memory unit to transfer transfer the data which is located at LOCA, that is 5000, back to MDR. And that when both the data are inside the processor, the instruction register can send it to ALU, and addition can happen between the R1 data and LOCA data, and both the sum value will be updated into R1. So is it clear with everyone?
Sir.
Yeah.
So my question is, it goes to the PC से MER जाता है, MER से MDR जाता है, MDR से IR जाके वापस MER में आता है. So
नहीं, MER में क्यों गया? क्योंकि अब इसके पास दोनों डेटा था नहीं. That's why. अगर यहाँ R2 होता तो ये नहीं जाता.
Okay.
क्योंकि अपने को प्रोसेसर के अंदर दोनों डेटा चाहिए एडिशन का, या मल्टीप्लिकेशन होता है या कुछ और होता तो। ठीक है,
तो
क्लियर
सर
है?
पहले पीसी से जो एमएआर में जाता है व्हाट डेटा गोस टू द एमएआर?
1000 वहाँ एड्रेस जाएगा ना, केवल एमएआर में एड्रेस जाएगा 1000
ओके
1000 लोकेशन पे। इज इट क्लियर?
So sir, after it decodes, it gets the 5000 value and then it sends that back to MER.
नहीं,
क्या?
5000 वैल्यू वो तो इंस्ट्रक्शन रजिस्टर ने जब डिकोड किया इस इंस्ट्रक्शन को, देन इट फाउंड कि R1 की
If-
वैल्यू इट हैज इनसाइड द प्रोसेसर बट इट डजंट हैव द वैल्यू ऑफ LOCA। यहाँ पे
Okay.
डेटा में क्या है ये इसको नहीं पता था।
So we use just the IR to decode it.
हाँ, डिकोड, और उसको पता लगा ना कि यहाँ पे डेटा। अब नेक्स्ट एग्जांपल में तुमको क्लियर होगा कि जो लास्ट के स्टेप है ना उसकी जरूरत नहीं थी, क्योंकि यहाँ पे डेटा था नहीं उसके पास, दैट्स व्हाई इट डिड दैट।
Okay.
ठीक है, इज इट क्लियर विथ एवरीवन? एक बार इसको फिर भी देखना तुम लोग।
सर
या
तो लास्ट में सर उसको LOC A में स्टोर करना चाहिए ना, लाइक सोर्स डेस्टिनेशन डेस्टिनेशन LOC A हुआ ना फिर।
नहीं, LOC A में नहीं होगा, ऐड में R1 ऐसे लिखते हैं ना, तो R1 के अंदर वो डेटा आता है। दिस इज द नोमेनक्लेचर, दिस इज द कन्वेंशन वी फॉलो। जैसे ऐड R1 R2 लिखा होता है ना, तो इसका मतलब होता है R1 प्लस R2 की डेटा को ऐड करो और उसको R1 में वापस अपडेट करो। ठीक है,
यस सर।
तो सर हमने ये जो लोका का डेटा था वो दूसरे नए रजिस्टर में टेम्पररीली स्टोर करा था।
नहीं MDR में रजिस्टर में नहीं डाला, रजिस्टर में था ही नहीं वो।
डायरेक्ट
MDR
R1 में ऐड
MDR
कर दी।
से सॉरी
हाँ जी सर आप बोलो।
हाँ, मैं कह रहा हूँ कि दोनों डेटा अपने पास प्रोसेसर में होने चाहिए, ये इशू है अपना। R1 का वैल्यू है, LOC का नहीं है। LOC पढ़ने के लिए वो क्या कर रहा है, दोबारा उस चीज को MER वाले प्रोसेस से फॉलो करवा रहा है। MER में जाएगा, फिर से रीड सिग्नल जनरेट होगा, रीड सिग्नल जनरेट होने से वो डेटा जो है MDR में आ जाएगा, MDR का डेटा प्लस R1 का डेटा को ऐड कर देगा ALU में। इज इट क्लियर?
यस सर।
ठीक है, किसी को कोई डाउट? किसी को डाउट?
नो सर।
ओके, कितने कंट्रोल सिग्नल्स जनरेट हुए रीड राइट? हाउ मेनी कंट्रोल सिग्नल्स वर जनरेटेड? इसको देख लो, सोचो
3.
कौन कौन से?
Read जो लिखा है and write will be for R1 and R1 plus MDR.
अच्छा, रीड कौन से रीड कहाँ यूज हुए हैं?
सर एक होगा when it's going from MAR memory of MAR to MDR and दूसरा will be when again MAR to MDR हो रहा है दूसरी बार।
तो मतलब पहला जो है वो प्रोग्राम काउंटर जो कंटेंट ऑफ पीसी इज ट्रांसफर्ड फिर रीड रिक्वेस्ट ये वाला।
हाँ
इज इट राइट?
सर एक तो इंस्ट्रक्शन रीड करने के लिए हो गया
पहला वाला।
हाँ जी सर, और फिर दूसरा लोका के लिए।
यस, वेरी गुड। इज इट क्लियर विथ एवरीवन? इज इट क्लियर विथ एवरीवन? बताओ।
पर सर जो एड्रेस रीड किया MER PC से सर वो वाला,
सॉरी,
जो MER एड्रेस रीड किया PC से,
हाँ वो पहला था ना, पहला रीड सिग्नल था ना वो।
सर 3 हुए ना सर टोटल से, एक जो PC से MER गया,
डेटा MER से फिर तुम डेटा MER के बाद तो इंस्ट्रक्शन गया ना कि रीड करो, मेमोरी में से पढ़ो कि इंस्ट्रक्शन है क्या, तो वो पहला रीड सिग्नल होगा।
सर लाइक रीड तो डेटा करेंगे सर बाद में से एड्रेस से, एंड एक लास्ट में करेंगे।
ये पहला तो करेंगे अपन इंस्ट्रक्शन फेच करने के लिए, ठीक है। MER में जो एड्रेस है उसमें क्या इंस्ट्रक्शन रखा है उसको MDR में ले आओ प्रोग्राम काउंटर से, ये पहला रीड होगा, ठीक है। दूसरा रीड होगा LOC से डेटा जो पढ़ रहे हैं अपन, वो रीड रिक्वेस्ट इशूड टू द मेमोरी। इज इट क्लियर?
समझ से हम सिर्फ डेटा रीड करते हैं, एड्रेस को हम रीड में नहीं लेते हम।
एड्रेस तो अपन रेफरेंस के लिए होगा ना, अपने को जाना कहाँ है, वो कैसे रीड में आएगा?
ओके सर,
है ना, एड्रेस तो वो हुआ ना कि अपने को कहाँ जाना है, कहाँ से रीड करना है। हाउ कैन वी से दैट इज अ रीड सिग्नल? वो नहीं हो सकता ना, है ना। इज इट क्लियर?
सो थर्ड रीड ऑपरेशन कहाँ आया?
थर्ड नहीं आया, थर्ड तो राइट आया, 2 ही रीड आए।
सर एक डाउट था सर।
हाँ
सर जब हम लोगों ने फर्स्ट रीड इंस्ट्रक्शन किया था तो फिर हमारे पास MDR में अभी क्या आ रखा है, मतलब
फर्स्ट रीड किया तो MDR में आया इंस्ट्रक्शन ऐड R1 LOC A,
जिसमें से हमारे पास R1 की वैल्यू ऑलरेडी होगी,
वो
बट
उसने
हमें
फिर
LOC A की चाहिए।
वो उसने इंस्ट्रक्शन रजिस्टर को ट्रांसफर किया फिर।
हाँ फिर
इंस्ट्रक्शन
लेकिन
रजिस्टर ने उसको
हमारे पास
डिकोड
क्योंकि
किया।
LOC A की है नहीं, तो हमने एक और एक और
हाँ,
बार रीड
फिर अपन ने वो प्रोसेस वापस फॉलो की, एमएआर को भेज के एमडीआर से डेटा निकाल के प्रोसेसर के अंदर मंगवाया, एमडीआर का डेटा और आर1 के डेटा को ऐड किया एलईए के अंदर और आर1 में अपडेट कर दिया। ठीक है।
और सर अगर यहाँ पे ऐड R1, R2 होता तो फिर हम लोग सिर्फ एक ही बार करते ना
हाँ,
रीड।
क्योंकि दोनों डेटा अपने प्रोसेसर में होता है तो कोई इशू नहीं होता अपने को। ठीक है,
ओके
क्लियर।
यस
ठीक है, ये बहुत जरूरी है इसका कंसेप्ट, क्योंकि यही दिस इज व्हाट इज एक्चुअली गोइंग टू द बिल्डिंग ब्लॉक्स फॉर, क्योंकि आगे के बहुत सारे इंस्ट्रक्शंस आएंगे, अगर ये पार्ट क्लियर नहीं है कैसे ट्रांसफर हो रहा है डेटा रजिस्टर्स के बीच में, तो अपने को इशू आए। एक बार इसको आई विल सजेस्ट कि यू गाइस आल्सो डू इट ऑन योर ओन, हाथ से लिख के देखना।
Sir, I have a question. So there'll be 2 control signals or 3?
एक दो तो राइट के लिए, दो तो रीड के लिए होंगे, एक राइट के लिए
एक
होगा।
राइट के लिए होगा ना सर?
हाँ।
ठीक है।
ठीक है, क्लियर। और कोई क्वेश्चन किसी को हो तो बाद में भी पूछना, कोई इशू नहीं है। इसको आई विल सजेस्ट कि डू इट बाय योर हैंड। ठीक है, डोंट लुक एट दिस, go to your copy, think about this problem and write it, and then cross check it whether it's right or wrong for you. ठीक है, I hope everybody does it because then it will make more sense to you. So this is an just example of that. Okay, now here as you can see, इसमें R1 R2 both values are there, no LOC is there. So if you do it again, what the same instructions are, same things are happening here. Content of MDR is transferred to IR, PC is incremented to point A, so instruction is decoded by the controller, and R2 is, see here it didn't go to the, it didn't do the other read signal, it didn't go to that location क्योंकि इसमें R1 R2 दोनों values processor के अंदर है. So the same thing is happening, since both the values are inside the processor, it will just calculate, it will just pass these values into ALU, and R1 and R2 will be added, and that will be updated into R1. So as you can see, the number of steps are less here. Same thing is happening, the data is inside the processor, that's why it is not able, it is not doing the last steps as what it did in LOCA. ठीक है, is it clear with everyone?
Yes, sir.
कोई डाउट है किसी को? डेटा अपने पास प्रोसेसर के अंदर होना चाहिए, देन ओनली वी कैन डू इट, दैट इज द मेन एसेंस ऑफ इट. इज इट क्लियर विथ एवरीवन? Okay, let's move on. Okay, so this was the general flow of the things inside the processor. Okay, so the main bus architecture, the bus architecture, the different, we can see the communication happening inside the processor as well as the outside the processor through several buses. In the last previous lecture also we discussed some things like address bus, data bus, bidirectional bus, control bus. There were several buses, but you can also see there were some buses which are inside the processor, some are outside also. So the different functional modules must be connected in an organized manner to form an operational system. Bus refers to a group of lines that serves as a connecting path for several devices. The simplest way to connect the functional unit is to use the single bus architecture. Okay, the first and foremost bus architecture is a single bus architecture. Only one data transfer is allowed in one clock cycle. For multi-bus architecture, parallelism in data transfer is allowed. So what do you guys interpret from this line that only one data transfer is allowed in one clock cycle in a single bus architecture? Can anybody shed some light on this? क्या लगता है टॉप ऑफ द माइंड, क्या लगता है?
एक बार में एक तरफ से डाटा ट्रांसफर हो सकता है.
हाँ, एक साइकिल में एक ही बार से ट्रांसफर हो सकता है, तो ये डेडलॉक है. इज इट सम काइंड ऑफ अ डेडलॉक? Deadlock, slow, is it slow, is it deadlock, is it leading to a deadlock?
Sir, depends on what it's being used for.
Hey, but generally is it slow?
Yes sir, compared to the bidirectional it'll be slow.
Yeah, because only one functional block will be able to access the bus, so it has the priority in one cycle, only that functional block will be able to access that bus. So ये एक बहुत major disadvantage, but this is a basic building block. It depends on the purpose and functionalities obviously. So how does it look like? Let's see. This is a system level single bus architecture. There are various functional units into it, that are input, output, memory, processor. So if input is accessing this, this blue color double arrowed line is actually symbolizing the bus, and it's a single bus architecture. So if input is accessing this bus, no other functional unit will be able to to get access of this bus. So you can see only one function can occur at a time, at one clock cycle or at a time. So if memory is accessing something from this bus, it can read or write. Then no output, no input, no processor can do anything over this bus. So one only, so you can imagine when we make any application, when we perform any functionalities, we do all these things simultaneously, we do all these things parallelly. But you can't imagine like taking input then waiting for some time. It can, if it happens parallelly, then it makes your system much more efficient and much faster. So is it clear with everyone the disadvantage and advantage of it? Single bus architecture. So this is
Yes.
the evolved way of doing it. The advanced way of doing it is a system level 2 bus architecture. Now you have two dedicated buses, one for the processor and memory, which is also connected to IO processor, and that is connected to the bus which is on the right side, which is finally connected to input. So we have actually segregated input output to the other sides. We have a connection block which is IO processor, which connects the two major things, that is processor and memory, to the input output. So both have their dedicated buses. It will make the things easier, it will make the things faster, but both have their advantages and disadvantages. So single bus architecture inside the processor. So there are some buses which are inside the processor also. The ALU and the registers and all are connected through a single bus. We'll see how this looks like. This is the main diagram for it. So this is all happening inside the processor. We have seen the special purpose registers. These are program counter, MAR, MDR. Y and Z are temporary registers, and you have IR. Then you have general purpose registers on the right side, that is R0, R1, Rn-1. These are all under these are all called general purpose registers. Then you have instruction, decoding, and control unit. Everything is connected through this main one internal processor bus. So buses are everywhere, outside also, inside also. And you can see there can be some single bus architecture, there can be multiple bus architecture, there can be parallel, unidirectional, bidirectional. There are many things, and that's how they actually interact inside the processor. So you have multi-bus architecture. Modern processors have multiple buses that connect the registers and other functional units. Allows, but as you can see, if you have a multiple bus architecture, you need to have a mechanism to have a error control, synchronization, and proper management of that bus. Is it so? Do you think single bus will be less complex? Obviously, it will be less complex, but since we are going towards more functionalities, we have to opt for multi-bus architecture. So also advantages to have multiple shorter buses rather than have a single bus. Why? Because there is this term called parasitic capacitance and hence smaller delays. um, I'll suggest read about it. Parasitic capacitance, just a definition. This is an unavoidable capacitance. So I'll suggest इसके बारे में एक बार पढ़ना तुम लोग, just general Google, and you'll see why the smaller buses have tendency to for this. So hopefully till now things are clear. Is it clear with everyone? Because
Yes.
the thing is that these all are actually should have been taught to you in the last syllabus. So what I'll do is share these slides so you can refer them, because from the next week we'll have to start the processors. Okay, so I'll share these slides because this should have been already been covered in CSA. So this is the memory organization. um, yeah, so you the memory is one of the most important subsystems of the computer. We are going to read, there is a whole unit to all these things, so we are going to deal with all of them in a more detailed way. So these are just some general introductions to them. So a memory system with m locations and n bits per location is referred to m cross n memory. So if you have like for an example, if you have 1024 locations, then for each location you have 8 bits, so that will become to 1024 into 8 bit. So if you have like 65,536 locations, then for each you have a 32 bit location, so you can that much of memory is there for your system. And these are the basic bits, you already know about them, so I'll hopefully everybody knows about these words. Is there anyone who doesn't know? ये तुम लोग फर्स्ट ईयर से पढ़ रहे होगे. Everybody knows about these words?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'll skip through them. No, it's not needed, I guess. Okay. So yeah.
So-
yeah.
So can we continue next class, sir? We have next class now. for the
Acha, okay. Sorry. I'll share these slides. Okay. Hopefully this confusion will not be there because it was there in my timetable. So yeah, thank you everyone. I'll just a minute. I'll download the attendance. Just a minute.
Sir, can you share these slides?
Yeah. I'll share this week's slides so that we can start with the processor. Okay. Thank you everyone. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
sir.